aircraft as a student pilot. Wow. Dr. Sukam Yakubu is a senior officer of the Nigerian Army and has held several academic, staff, and administrative appointments. He is currently the Director of Research Development and Innovation in the Nigerian Army College of Environmental Science and Technology, Makurdi, where he supervised the design and development of airborne landmine detector drone for military operations. The project, which brought him recognition, is aimed at minimizing human casualty. Sorry, I'm coming, please. During a combat, he presented this work at both civil and military exhibitions, including the just concluded African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2020. Research on fabrication of atmospheric monitoring and weather forecasting station in Makurdi. He is the Secretary of Nigerian Army Education Corps Committee on Research and also doubles as the focal point officer of the Corps at the Army Department of Army Innovation and Innovation Abuja. To civil and military medals, decorations, and awards. These include 4 Service Star, past senior leadership and staff officer course, Fellow Institute of Leadership and Human Resources of Nigeria, member Nigerian Institute of Physics, and others. His research interests include modeling of atmospheric parameters, aeronautical metrology, and development of unmanned area vehicle and application of technology to military operations. He is happily married and the union is blessed with 3 kids. Such a wonderful citation. So you are welcome, Dr. Yakubu Sukam. Good to see you again, the tallest man in Army. Welcome, sir. So you can have the floor.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, go on.
I decided to come in Mufti today because I am doctor in this presentation, not Major Sukam. Good to have you. Distinguished scholars, members of ERIN, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to share an insight, and I would like to also navigate you through some experiences I've had in the research. I want to thank the leadership of ERIN and all who have made Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, go on, sir.
Thank you. All right, I want to talk on strengthening research collaboration and network. As earlier mentioned, I am Dr. Sukam, currently the Director of Research Development and Innovation here in Nigerian Army College of Environmental Science and Technology, Makurdi. I hope you can see my slides as a way of introduction.
Yes, sir. Go on.
All right, as a way of introduction, When we talk about collaboration, we are looking at the essentials for innovation. Now, why I want to talk about this is that I want to see a platform where we'll be able to collaborate. When we look at the dynamics of research, we understand that we are currently in a world that is dynamic. So many things are interconnected. Cannot be overemphasized. Now, when looking at the why collaboration is important, the first thing I want to cite here is the essential for innovation. Now, groundbreaking discoveries now emerge from collective expertise of multidisciplinary teams. As an individual, when you are embarking on a research, there are certain salient input that will come as a team, bringing different disciplines together, setting invoice that goes silent. Now go online and look at the highest number of citations, not even for institutional individual research. You look at collaborative research has the highest number of citations. As I go further into this slide, you will see the percentage in subsequent slides. Now, as an individual, when you are embarking on a research, there are certain questions, certain inquiries that will not come visible. So the need for collaboration research is very, very important because a research will not give you the adequate output when certain salient points still remain unanswered. So that is why as the world emerges, as technology emerges, the need to collaborate into research to answer and bring output on those silent questions is necessary. Now, why collaboration is important is that just like when you have an arm holding something, you lack strength in holding it, but by the time those two arms come forth together, you have strength in holding it. And you'll be able to have ideologies, you'll be able to have input. As an individual, we are created to understand based on the confine of what is imputed in us. By the time you grow up, you are subject to different environment. When you go to school, you pass through different experiences, and these things tells more on the output of that research. Now, by the time you bring different fields together, you'll be able to analyze such concept and be able to bring forth a workable solution. Now, that is why the first slide we're talking about why the essential for collaboration. The groundbreaking discovery now emerge from collective expertise of multidisciplinary teams. Now, it also accelerates knowledge because collaboration pools resources. When you collaborate, you'll be able to pool like skills. When people collaborate in research, researchers come together from different fields, multidisciplinary field, you'll be able to bring skills together. Certain questions or certain research tools that are hidden will be able to come forth. And these ideas to speed up the space for discovery, because the essence of it, just like what NH was talking yesterday, is to bring our ideology into practical expertise, to be able to bring out something, not research but a metaphor. Now, it also unlocks opportunity. Strong network provide access to cutting-edge technology and new funding sources. It enhances research impact. Working together broadens the scope of inquiry and enhances the overall quality of research. As an individual, when you are working on a research, you will be confined to that particular area of your expertise. But there are certain hidden questions, certain hidden output that ought to grow, and you tend to bring it out to the public, and that is why we have some negation along the way. But by the time you're able to identify the research question, identify the problem, strategize in getting collaborators, everyone in the team come together, bring its insight and its understanding on that particular research question. So collaboration is no longer just a motive research, but the necessity of coming together. Now, the importance of research collaboration, it is very, very important, because by the time you embark on a research, you are trying to make findings in solving societal challenges, solving problems. You may have a particular objective in mind, but by the time you go into that research deeper, certain questions may come forth, and you may have a little given. And these things will come forth, you'll be able to have a definite solution because of the research teams that you have put in place together. Now, the importance of the research collaboration is one collaborate, fostering interdisciplinary innovation. There are, just like in area, in this advanced world, the challenges are multidisciplinary. Look at climate change, food security, and so forth. Now, let me take climate change for instance. You pardon me because I want to talk a little about the field of climate science. The climate itself is multidisciplinary. You just saw maybe atmospheric physics alone. There are atmospheric, you look at geophysics, you look at atmospheric physics, you look at even patterns in weather, meteorology, and so forth. These things you come to and assess. You also have farmers to be able to understand the dynamics. So for you to be able to collaborate effectively, you need to get this particular team together and have them bring out their expertise so that they're able to collaborate effectively. Now, also in the disciplinary innovation, that is important. It's fostering interdisciplinary innovation, and also in research quality and relevance. Now, by the time you embark on a research and you are able to bring different fields together, though it depends on the particular research question, it depends on what you are researching on. You don't just go into a particular research and so because you want to have a multidisciplinary team, you just bring any other person. You go first into your goal. You'll be able to know your aim, you know your goal, and okay, that will inform the kind of researchers to bring more. So I want us to know that it is very important to define your research and the definition of the research to be able to get the value to be able to bring together. And in bringing together, you'll be able to know what expertise you will coming together. Because research, from my little experience, I'm able to understand that as time goes on into research, there are certain questions that you may not be able to answer, but by virtue of the research team, your expertise in that research team, you'll be able to come up with a workable solution. So it gives access to resources and collaborative research. When I was doing my master's at University of Ilorin, we have an instrument at when one of the professors traveled to the United States and did a program there and collaborated with the U.S. Air Force. By so doing, they sent the equipment to Nigeria and it was installed in University of Ilorin. And what does it do? It measured atmospheric parameters. So in research collaboration, by virtue of collaborating with the United States Air Force, such instruments were able to come to University of Ilorin, and still today it's using to take some parameters in the atmosphere for research purposes. So it gives access to resources and infrastructure, and also capacity building and knowledge transfer. I just came back last week from University of Sukam, who went for the establishment of the Army Headquarters. We wrote to them and we went there. We went through their facilities. We are collaborating with them at the Army Headquarters level. We're able to see the resources they have and ours. While I was doing my PhD also, I wrote to some institutes at US, Japan, and so we're able to collaborate and it answers some of my questions. So in the research, by the time you collaborate with an institution, with organization, if such organizations are interested in your output, by the time you go into collaboration with them, they have the tendency to come up to train you, capacity building, and bring up latest technology in that particular field. And that is also one of the reasons for collaboration. And also another reason for collaboration is improved research visibility and impact. When you research as a team, and you publish research, it gives eye to the entire world. When you publish it, you put it inside the nature was telling us yesterday that we need to make our research visible to the world. So by the time you get the result, make it tends to attract audience when they see the research team, when they see that, oh, this is geared towards solving societal challenge, and the research team, like for TED for now, I applied for the National Research Grant last year, and from the little that they are research team, you need to be sure you have a legal team there. You know, they also look at gender balance. But I want to talk about, look at the legal team, look at the ethical aspect of it. Even the atmosphere, you need to consider engineer, to bring an engineer in, atmospheric science to bring it in, if it is about medical and so on. So you need to look at the goal of the research, the expected outcome, and ensure such things are being put in place. You get the required number and make sure every place, because by the time you conduct research and certain output are not brought from, it is also researchable. Though it's good, you go into research and you need to get gaps to be able to go further. So the reason for collaboration is to improve research visibility. When you collaborate not only with researchers in Nigeria, collaborate with researchers outside country, you collaborate in the Europe, you collaborate with researchers in the US and so forth. So by the time you publish paper, it enhances the visibility when you make publication. And also, now let me quickly go into strategy, because we talked about research collaboration. Because as a researcher, you don't just make research and just let it die within the confine of your environment, of your domain. It needs to go to the public so that people will be able to come to your research and get feedback. And since it's geared towards solving contemporary challenges, people should be able to say, oh, this research, yes, let's get the outcome of this research and do it. So that's why it needs to go wide. It needs to go to the public. And the lordship was talking yesterday that law and this to be put in place for how to strategize this to the industry. And that is where currently the research is going into, because problems, research questions, problem is dynamic, it emerges every day. And the need to go into that is very important. That is why I come up with these strategies of that. Now, the foundation that we are to establish goal and value, define clear objective. You must know the objective of your research, clear objective, mutual respect, and shared values to align purpose and prevent interference. Yes, we are people from different backgrounds, our conception different, we differ in ideology and so forth. So we need to understand and establish a shared goal and value, respect for one another, and that will bring the objective and define the objective, mutual respect and shared value. The insight, because the way a medical doctor will see a research problem is different from the way an engineer will see it. So everyone will have to understand his role in it, because if we don't understand our role in it, it's going to be a very big problem. So we need to understand that, oh, when we come as to collaborate, to develop a network in the research, we need to understand that, oh, we have a different view to attending to common or same problem. So we must regard that, oh, everybody has a view, then we come and understand, so avoid conflict. And we also need, one of the foundations, so the second one, we need to formalize agreement and structures. You may be in Nigeria now and have an agreement, a kind of document, memorandum of understanding between researchers. This is our confine. This is how we should go in this. After defining the goal, this is what binds us, this is what guides us. So a kind of use a legally binding document like memorandum of understanding and data sharing protocols to define responsibilities and IP rights. So it's very important. This is the foundation for collaboration. Then after we have known the foundation, we need to look at the enablers of success in collaborative research and network. We have to leverage digital tools, because you will not just be here in Nigeria and just, oh, we will just do our research here, use platform. We have to use platform like Teams, Google Workplace, just like this, Google Meet, ResearchGate, for real-time communication and efficient data. Because the way we view research here might be different from other researchers elsewhere, the outcome of the research elsewhere. So the need for collaboration, certain research that determines the dynamics of the position of the art, for instance. And when I was doing my master's, I go into a research and I understand that I felt I was getting a very wrong value because of environmental research. But when I go into literatures, I was seeing is deviating from mine. Little did I know that the literature, the same research was conducted in the southern hemisphere. Me, I am here in the northern hemisphere conducting the same research. So it differs. So it was when we go ahead and I was able to charge the professor, we're able to talk, say, yes, you are right, because you are not expected to have this value is because of your position. The position of Nigeria is at so latitude, while the position of here is at so latitude. So you are not expected to have the same result. Wow, I was thrilled. And that brought up collaboration and we're able to understand. So when we come together, we'll be able to understand. And how do we come together? And the enablers for success is to leverage on digital technology. The internet is there. We have different means and so forth. So we'll be able to now go into use Google Meet, go to the internet, consult researchers, and these are all enablers. Now we have to pursue joint funding. Now you see, we have different fundings, medium, we have different things. So by the time you collaborate, there are target grants from bodies that prioritize collaborative projects. There are bodies that provide projects such as Horizon Europe, NIH, or the African Union. So there are certain, by the time you pick up, you get the needed people, you will be able to get the exact resources to conduct. So also encourage mobility. To encourage mobility, which is the exchange program, the sabbatical as essential. I have a friend currently in Japan. By virtue of the research, they collaborated with a professor in Japan. He invited him to his lab and so on. So these are all enablers. And now a critical strategy is repeated. We need to ensure balanced participation where all partners, especially those from underrepresented or developing regions, have equal say and benefit fairly from the outcome. By the time you have a research team, make sure for you to have such a research, you believe that such an individual has something. He has his own level of understanding in his field. As such, you need to give him an hearing. You need to make him understand that you are valued here in this thing. You have something to give us. Within the confine of that, your opinion is very, very important. So this is a key strategy for collaborative research. Now, I would also like to look at some challenges before I come forward on some of the need for all of that. Now, and looking at overcoming common challenges, you know, like I said earlier, we are from different backgrounds. Even here in Nigeria, when we go out of the country, we are in fact different. So they need to understand challenges is also part of solving it. Now, one of the first things I put here is human and cultural barriers. When you are going to someone's land, you need to consider the cultural and communication difference can lead to misunderstanding. For those that are traveling for collaboration, even if you are having a kind of Google Meet, you need to understand boundaries, to understand culture, so that you'll be able to overcome. The solution is to promote cultural competence, establish clear communication norms, and foster open and regular dialogue. Very, very important. We need to understand that. When I went to Kigali for a program, for a training, I had to go with a friend to understand, oh, what are the norms here? What are the rules, the do's and don'ts here? So I don't just go and preach certain cultural values here, and it may affect. So you need to understand that as you come from different fields, different geographical different countries successful and have an effective collaboration in research. And the second one is the structural and legal barriers. The challenge is disparate administrative procedure, resource gap, and IP disputes. So we need to understand legal barriers. and understanding it is to know how to navigate through it. And the solution is to harmonize procedures. We need to harmonize procedures, prioritize capacity building, and use clear, legally binding agreement from the start. Now, the enabling environment. In the enabling environment, because it's the role of institution and government. So when I was bringing this up, I just don't want us to look at collaboration between myself and you all alone, or collaboration between me and the University of Maiduguri, or between this we will bring at your own capacity and so forth, like we do in the Nigerian army. I go for collaboration, and when I look at some lapses, I come write it down, and so that there are certain things as an institution in the army will be able to okay, make policies to enhance our research output. So these are things in collaboration. I go to Sukam. So there are institutions we have visited and see the equipments they have, and then we have represented research teams within and even outside the country. So we look at certain things and say, oh, these are how we want the government to come in and enhance our research collaboration. Institution, this is our recommendation, how you come in. And some of them are support joint research centers and laboratories. There is need to have a research center that is not only geared towards a particular field. There is a research center that incorporates different fields to come together and bring out the required solution towards solving contemporary societal challenges. And also it certifies cross-institutional and international projects. They need to come together and collaborate with will enhance the productivity of particularly the academic field and current challenges. Invest also the role of institutional government is in robust digital infrastructure and researchers training. Of course, as researcher, we need to train the trainer and so forth. This will keep us equipped. In fact, as technology emerges, equipment also emerge. The need for a researcher to keep to date in handling such equipment is very, very important. They also I looked at the enforcement of policies that reward collaborative effort. Yes, there is need for the enforcement of policies that reward collaborative effort in the promotion and funding as well. Then building the network, which is very important. I want to land here particularly building the network. And one of the ways to building the network, very key here, because I think this particular topic sum up the essence for my lecture here, my lecture. Now, building the network, I look at the understanding the potential collaborators. After understanding, now this is the goal. Yes, this is what I really want to achieve. This is what we want to embark. And from it, we'll be able to know the variable what to achieve. That will also inform the number of persons that will come into such research. We need to understand the potential collaborator. How do we understand potential collaborator? We map out our goals. You map out your goal, start by pinpointing gaps in your current network's expertise or resources. It is this gap that will make you understand what and what kind of researcher to collaborate with. When you want to embark on a research, you already have an insight. Of course, would have gone literatures, and then through research, you'll be able to identify a gap to research on. In this gap, you have to understand your goal. Now, it is from this gap that you'll be able to know, okay, well, this is the gap I've identified here in this research, then I want to set up a research team. It is from the gap you'll be able to say, okay, well, if this is involving food security, who and who do I bring? What data and what data do I get? It will inform the kind of expertise to be. And it's not that by the time you have established the research team, you have established the network. As time goes on, there are certain salient questions, certain salient input that need to come. At any point, any expertise can also be brought into the research team. The essence is to come out with a well-lasting solution that is geared towards solving societal challenges. So you start by pinpointing gaps in your current network, expertise, or resources, and then go into look beyond your cycle. You consider beyond your cycle because it's a multidisciplinary research. You don't just stay within the confine of a particular field. Now you consider researchers from different disciplines, institutions, or industries. Yes, you need to go online, get researchers, just like the registrar was saying yesterday. He was making a very particular point that when you go into research, you search in a particular field, you see researchers. Far beyond, oh, I know this, I know that. No, when you go online, you go, you search, you go for sabbatical, you go for conferences, you hear people, you know the but this is how you get researchers. So disciplines, institutions, we've gone for conferences, we've gone for workshops, different institutions, and then industries that we bring their expertise together. You need to also debate and event, use conferences, workshops, seminars to initiate conversation. This will make you strengthen your collaboration, and it's going to be a defeating one. Now, we also need to use digital in understanding potential collaborators. Because we need to know who and who is needed in this particular research. Of course, very important. Get LinkedIn and academic forum to discover experts worldwide. Academic forum to discover anything. You can live with other researchers. Google me, you can research via conferences, workshops, and so forth. In fact, you can go online and look. I've gotten some doctors, some professors, I think from Aberdeen, University of Aberdeen. I have followed through reply. At a point, I was trying to go even there, meet him in his lab to do my postdoc. But because of the synthesis of duty over here in the country, I was unable to go there. So I don't even know him. I don't know him from Adam, and I communicated, and he has been of helping hand in my research, in my area of research. Until date, we are still in communication. So it's very important you use this platform, technology, and you'll be able to know collaboratively open dialogue to understand at what point have I gotten to this, because before you achieve your aim, there are different objectives need to be put in place. So at which point did I get to this objective and this? All of this will strengthen the research collaboration, and you know you are in tune, you are in line together. And now building trust and mutual respect. I went to, I don't want to mention the institution, but one of the basic problems within the academia is, distrust. We need to build trust. When you bring out ideas, you need to know that whatever you are bringing up is being guided with dignity. Now, trust is built on transparent communication, clearly defining goals, expectations, and adherence from outset to prevent misunderstanding. We need to understand whatever I share with you is highly confidential. And sometimes there's what we call identity theft. You don't just go and then give somebody ideology and then go about in another place. We need to build up trust, understand, and have mutual respect for one another to be able to sustain this collaboration. Then, it's still in building the network. I have also set down strategies for managing conflict, because conflict is inevitable as long as we are from different countries, from different backgrounds, different culture, ideologies, the way we view things different. So I really brought this to make sure that, okay, well, when you bring people from different backgrounds, from different culture, ideology to do just a common thing, conflict is inevitable, but it can be managed. And one of the ways to foster open communication with trust. Oh, this is a research I brought on board, and this is how we go about it, having set out a the do's and don'ts, memorandum of understanding, clear goals. Oh, as a researcher, this is what is expected of you, this is what is expected of me. You need to foster open communication to encourage team members to voice out concerns early and constructively. This prevents minor issues from escalating, and then look to adopt a problem-solving mindset. For you to achieve as a team, to achieve your goal, you need to adopt a problem-solving mindset. Focus on addressing the issue rather than assigning blame. This transformation conflict into opportunities for growth. So instead of assigning blame to individual, we must also bear in mind that we are from different backgrounds, we are from different countries, so conflict is inevitable. So we need to understand how to address it. Now, looking at the funding and resource sharing, we seek diverse funding and share resource strategically because these are some of the benefits we get in collaborative research and reduce costs, foster cooperation. Now, when you come into measuring impact for collaborative research, the essence is strengthening research collaboration and network. We need to look at what are those measuring impact, what are those indicators. Now, the guiding the impact, use quantitative metrics. How do you know some of this? You track their joint publication, citation rates, patent filed, and new grant. So for you to be able to know those collaborators, how do you follow up? You need to also use quantitative metrics to track their record. Oh, this person is in this field, and this is the record he has. You assess qualitative outcome, measure real-world benefit, such as changing in policy, new technology, or improve community practice. You gather feedback, use survey and interview with collaborators and end users to find areas for improvement. So these are all the guiding impact we need to consider. Now, looking at the sustaining partnership, of course, by the time you have a research team, you set up a collaboration, have a network, you need to sustain it. And how do you sustain it? How do you sustain it? The long-term collaboration is to maintain regular check-in, just like I said earlier, regular check-in through Google Meet, meetings, conferences, and workshops, and so on. These are part of what will really keep you together in time. And of course, if you are from different countries, you do that virtually. If you are within proximate distance, you have regular meetings, and then you organize trainings where you meet and exchange ideas and so forth. Now, recognize all contributions. You must recognize contributions from all the collaborators, all the research team, and every point is valid. There are better ways to checkmating points that are not valid. So these are ways to strengthen it. Not that one will just be preoccupied. And I've been in a research team where virtually only two of us were just doing the main thing, and some persons back out, and I now decide to, okay, what was the reason for this? Regular checks, regular collaboration, call, regular meeting, and if it is within proximate distance, you come together, share idea, assign different things. You don't just need a person, oh, assign, give assignment, oh, let's do this, and then have a particular time we come together, and then we remain flexible. We have to be flexible and understand with one another, because in research, some are workers, some are in different countries. There are many things that intertwine with our personal engagement. So we need to be flexible and understanding, and by so doing, it strengthens our collaborations and network. Try to rush this down because of my next engagement, so that I didn't want to. I actually decided to rush it down because I have an engagement shortly after this. I guess this so by way of conclusion, the takeaway is that it's strategic. In all of this, let's go with this. A strategic necessity. Collaboration is the foundation for future-ready research and sustainable development. This is one of the strategic necessities. Let's all bear in mind and know that, collaboration is the foundation for future-ready research. We need to collaborate because problems are multifaceted, and we need a dynamic view towards that. As problems changes, we need to understand that, this is an approach to a dynamic problem. And one of the approach to a dynamic problem is collaboration. So collaborative research have high impact factor have high citation value. So you'll be able to understand, yes, at this point, we need to collaborate. And how do you collaborate? You understand our differences culturally and understand and be flexible. So a strategic necessity collaboration is the foundation for future ready research and sustainable. We need to understand, oh, this is where I want to collaborate. This is the topic I have. This is the contributors I really need. By the time we come together, and sustaining it is also key. Not really to gather researchers from different universities and gathering them, bringing them together, and no for knowledge. We need to understand our aim, and how do we understand our aim? We need to also follow through growth. The strategic collaboration is the foundation for the future leading. Now, the engine for change is an engine for change. This is what I take away, an engine for change. It breaks down barriers, share resources, and unlock new frontiers of the discoveries. People from different fields, from different expertise come together to break down barriers. Whether we like it or not, when you go into multifaceted research, people from different expertise, researchers from different fields come together to bring in their view. It brings a different approach. You may be going on a research as an individual. When you collaborate with people, you see a different view towards getting similar outcome. So it's very important. And then when you weigh this view to what you have, you may be able to deduct, oh, this is an approach towards attending this. So in strengthening this, we need to do that. Strengthening that is very important. We need to strengthen it by bringing collaborators from different fields to achieve our aim. And it's the pathway forward, the path forward. We must build strong, inclusive, and well-structured network to address world's most pressing challenges. Now, in this, one of the research I've conducted recently is the design and development of an airborne landmine detector drone. And this research we built for the Army because we have had instances where our troops advance in theater of operation, and we run, and there's the locals there. So what we do, I just look at the problem and say, wow, okay, since we advance with troops into this honestly in the northeast, the Boko Haram insurgents, we advance with troops into that. What modality do we do? The Army has Valon. The Valon is you just take it just and scan along your route of advance. When you scan along your route of advance and you clear, oh, there are no mines, there are no IED buried in the ground. So, but in most cases, we lose men because of the proximate distance. You have to go to the bomb and place the balloon to see if it dictates the bomb. And when it explodes, the personnel is already there, it explodes. So what we do is, okay, why can't we develop a sensor that detects bomb across our route of advance? And we send the drone 500 meters, 1,000 meters ahead of our route of advance to detect and tell us, so that even if it explodes, at least it's a machine, not human being. So when we look at that gap, I led that research and we're able to successfully do it. But what do I do? We need to bring in engineers, we need to bring in sensor developers, we need to bring the legal into it because we need to understand the legal implication of landmine. So when developing a research team, we need to bring these people together and we understand our differences. It's very important, very key. You need to know from the research topic, you need to know what you want to really gain. From that, you'll be able to know what are those collaborators that are very important. And don't forget, very importantly, that is why the tech fund are very curious about that when you are getting a national research fund. You must have a legal team. Whatever you are designing, most especially those into fabrication, into designing products, you need to understand that yes, you need a research, you need a legal team, a lawyer, advice, someone that will come out. This is the legal implication of this. Then, if it is something about design, you need an engineer. Engineer, there are different types, different fields of engineering. Is it civil engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, computer engineering, and so forth? You need to understand, oh, this is it. And as time goes on in the research, there are many inputs that will come forth that you'll be able to, oh, yes, at this point, we need to answer this. It may not necessarily be, your view to it may be different. You need to go back and get the exact expertise to bring on board. Which by so doing, then you'll be able to answer it because his view will bring a voice in the research team. So we need to understand that in research collaboration, there are many things. It is a topic that will define the kind of collaborators that will come in. As time goes on, you have to be flexible so that you'll be able to know, oh, at this point, these are the kind of persons that come on board. Very, very important. So in strengthening the research, a kind of let me just wrap it up. In standing research collaboration, we need to come together and realize that yes, what we are doing is for humanity. We are researching not to make parametric research and just make document and submit to the libraries and archives. We need to go beyond writing and know that, oh, with passion we do it and give it to the society. I would like to stop at this point. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, Major Dr. Sukam.
Thank you.
What a wonderful presentation. To a catalyst for sustainable innovation and development. Because without collaboration research or collaborative research, I will be falling short of coming up with that are strong, innovate our society and lead development. So you have said it all. Interdisciplinary research collaboration is innovative. We cannot take it away from there. So you highlighted on it. You equally highlighted on the trend to enhance research quality, capacity building, and knowledge transfer. All these things are what will stand to benefit if we collaborate with each other, with institutions, where our strength is much, and will bring in others to fill in the gap that will lead to for all the researchers to come up with good research policies that can change develop points. I will throw it to the participants. If they have any question, if you have any reaction or contribution, this is the time. We'll still have Major Dr. Yakubu Sukam on seat so that he will be able to answer your questions or your interests. Thank you. Anybody with a question? Okay. Any other person before the registrar? Any other participant with question before the registrar? Is there any other person, or should I go on? Okay. Go on, our registrar, please.
Okay, thank you very much, my distinguished moderator, and our very erudite resource person for today's event. So we are honored and blessed to have you speak to us today. Thank you, sir. I have one question and one contribution to make. My question is, my question is, there are instances we set up a research group, a team, and the job is done by one or two persons. How do we balance this? Because no matter how it's something that we share work. So okay, you handle this, you bring data, you do analysis, you look at this, do review. At the end of the day, the work done by one or two persons. And how do we address it? Because it's a long-standing issue. Then afterward, I can make contribution.
Okay, before Major Dr. Sukam answer that question, is in the same line with what I have here. Most times you form a team for a research, but One of the major problems of such a collaboration is time management. You give somebody something to do a fraction of the research work, and the person is for 6 months. So how do we change that kind of mindset alongside with what the Mr. Imo said, the question he has? Well, how do we handle such things? And the inactivity, because Mr. Imo's question is on in a team, maybe a team of 5, and three are inactive. Thank you.
All
I
right,
don't know
thank
if
you.
my doctor find to further say something so that he will speak last as a keynote speaker. My moderator, please allow me to speak so that our keynote speaker will lend his voice as a keynote speaker on that question.
Okay.
Okay, there's something I do, and I think it is working relatively. I don't just bring people to leadership position. I let them know that when they do not perform, once I bring you into leadership position, it comes with progression. It is not a chieftaincy position. It's not a traditional rulership position that you will stay forever. So once I assign you a job, that's my new management and leadership policy. And I tell you, when are you delivering? And I tell you that once you cannot meet up, I will drop you. I prepare your mind ahead of time. So be no grudges, like why is he doing like that? I prepare your mind ahead of time. I believe to some extent I'm producing results with that mindset. I will just kick you out, not working. We'll see if you can wake people up on that area of collaboration because they'll be tracking fit. Sometimes you may feel like, what did he even do? You try to quantify or percentage their effort, and plus or minus, it's not even up to 10%. You'll be like, what moral justification do I have for such a scholar to enjoy credit for a work they did not impute? So what I do is I tell you ahead of time, if you are not performing, we'll remove you. Thank you. So at least you can.
All right, thank you very much for that question. And I see the two questions are interrelated. Just like you said, let me take a little deviance from that. You see, as human beings, we also need to understand emotional intelligence and psychology into it. Now, when you have a team and you have set up a 5-man team and you realize that there is just that person that is not serious, is not meeting to the required goal. Now, I will take it in 2 dimensions. If such a person is bringing problem into the team, you don't need to waste time. You just drop it, like you say. But it's going to be better from the onset. The MOU that I talk about, this is our jurisdiction. This is what is expected of you as a researcher. This is it at any point because, of course, there is no need for him to be